Hello everybody, this is NAPA Fan here on the NOFSRL channel. And for the first time this year on the NOFSRL channel, we are qualifying in Season 10 of the NOFSRL Cup Series. This is qualifying for the NAPA 400 here from the Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California. And this is uncharted qualifying for this race. 8 drivers in the Turkey hot seat as always. The top 2 fastest drivers will be racing tomorrow night in the NAPA 400. Also will be going for the pole position right when we're done here with uncharted qualifying. Those 8 drivers include the number 2 of John Andrews, the number 21 of Elijah Gordon, the number 29 of Joshua Harrison, the number 32 of Daniel Bouchard, the number 52 of Micah Knapp, the number 55 of Scott Upton, the number 76 of Isaac Nicholls, and the number 80 of Ashlin Boyd. Top 2 fastest in this session will race tomorrow night. Join alongside Joe Wright for the call of this one. And Trey, we got a lot of very strong drivers in this hot seat. Here you're looking at, we got Elijah Gordon, John Andrews, Micah Knapp, Daniel Bouchard, Isaac Nicholls, and of course the last winner in the Turkey National Series, Ashlin Boyd, all in this session. Who do you think are going to be the top 2 guys here in this session?
I am going to be a little bit biased here and say Daniel Bouchard is going to be one of the top guys. He is so good at the big tracks here in that number 32 or the Aero American Motorsports Ford, but I think he's always good at these 2-mile tracks, and he has been doing pretty well in the Mission Barbecue Cup Series, so I think Daniel Bouchard is going to end up as the one of the Turkey Hill Hot Seat drivers. Apologize there, but I think Elijah Gordon as well. He's a veteran, a 2-time champion of the series, so I think I have to watch out for Elijah Gordon as well in that total number 76 car. But
Elijah Gordon's in the 21 machine. The 76 here is Isaac Nicholls, who was very strong in that Daytona race for the Turkey Hill National Series. So far, the only driver to clock in a time under speed. That's Scott Upton in the 55, another relatively strong driver. I think, you know, if it weren't for the fact that a lot of these other guys are in this session for the Turkey Hill Hot Seat, we'd be looking at Scott Upton being one of the strongest guys in this uncharted field. Now you got Bouchard coming out on the racetrack in the number 32, John Andrews there in the number 2 machine. Both of those drivers have won NOFSRL Cup Series races at Talladega. Now, I don't think tomorrow night's race is going to play out like Talladega. We're done with the Super Speedway stuff for a while. But it should be interesting to see which one of these guys, I should say, make it on to the show. Number 29, this is probably the least experienced guy in this session. That is Joshua Harrison, who had a great run at Daytona as well. He is currently fastest. Another thing you got to watch out for, though, is the draft. Even though this isn't a super speedway, it's a very fast 2-mile length intermediate oval. And with the long front stretch and the long back straightaway, the draft will come into play, and I think we saw that right there with Ashlin Boyd, and I think we saw it with Scott Upton just now. Upton and Boyd, currently the 2 fastest guys here in uncharted qualifying for the NAPA 400.
See these guys going around this track. This fairly flatter discount Michigan Raceway with the flatter banking in the turn, so definitely going to be definitely going to be very interesting to see how these guys can maneuver through these turns, as these turns are definitely passing places, especially that inside lane. Just how wide this racetrack is always amazes me, no matter how many times we come here. So passing, especially in the early stages of this race and on restarts, is going to be fun. These guys are going to fan out 3 and possibly 4 wide, but if you get 4 wide or even 5 wide, it's going to be pretty interesting, I'd say so for myself. Top of the board goes a number 80 car.
Still Ashlin Boyd and Scott Upton, the 2 fastest guys in this session. Of course, Boyd getting that little bit of a toe off of Joshua Harrison, and Upton getting the toe off of John Andrews. At this point, especially, this is a place where tire wear comes to effect a lot as well, so I don't know if we're going to see any more times that rival the 80 and the 55 here. So it's looking like Ashlin Boyd's going to go right from victory lane to the race here in the NOFSRL Cup Series. And Boyd's made a few starts before in this series before, but for Scott Upton, assuming that he does advance his way on here in this session, it'll be his first career NOFSRL Cup Series start for the number 55 in Titan Fury Motorsports. However, he just got bumped off by Joshua Harrison. And for Harrison, He, too, would be making his first ever NOFSRL Cup Series start if he can hold on to this time. Not gonna happen. John Andrews goes back to the top. He is now second fastest, and it's the 80 of Ashlin Boyd and the 2 of John Andrews. Both drivers who have made starts in this series before, looking to race tomorrow night in this NAPA 400.
I think we're going to get one more time reset before uncharted qualifying expires, so each of these guys are probably going to have one more opportunity to put down a time. Number 80, and those two cars up at the top are looking lightning fast in the draft. So that's, like you said at the top of the show, the draft here is just going to be so crucial, especially in the late stages of the race. You're going to want to have a drafting partner as we get into the thick and thin of the race. So definitely going to come into play. But how about the 80 and the 2 and John Andrews in that 2 car, just barely getting by in that uncharted car as the clock winds down on uncharted qualifying.
And that'll do it. It will, in fact, be Ashlin Boyd and John Andrews racing in tomorrow night's NAPA 400. And not only that, they're going to join the other 40 full-time drivers here in the NOFSRL Cup Series in pole qualifying for the second race of the season here from the Auto Club Speedway. Ashlin Boyd, John Andrews advance on through uncharted qualifying. Let's go ahead and see who wins the pole here in the NAPA 400 at Auto Club. And here we go, ready to set the starting lineup. The first group qualifying session of the season for the NOFSRL Cup Series. Obviously, we did single car qualifying last weekend for the Daytona 500. But here on this Thursday evening, we're setting the starting lineup with the group for tomorrow night's NAPA 400 here at Auto Club. This was a pretty big deal last year when Andrew Miller went to victory lane driving for number 24. Of course, it was recently after Kobe Bryant passed away. It was a pretty big deal. And Andrew Miller, I can definitely say that was one of his biggest wins of his entire career, his first ever NOFSRL Cup Series race victory. What are the odds you give him this year of winning here at the Auto Club Speedway 2 years in a row in that number 24 machine?
I'd say to do so, the odds are definitely against him, given that there's going to be 41 other drivers in the field going against him. But hey, anything can happen. We are in the Golden State, and at the Auto Club Speedway, weird things can happen, and weird things have happened here in the past. We've seen cars go into the catch fence. We've seen side-by-side finishes. So I think anything can happen here at the Auto Club Speedway. As the 40 car of Gatlin Downey is the first one off the pit lane. And like we said during just a few minutes ago in uncharted qualifying, the way you're going to want to get a good starting position if you hook up with someone and draft off of them. Tandem drafting, even at like a flat track here, even at a flat track here, can still help you just with the speed and the runs you can get through the straightaways. If you hook up with someone, you're going to go to the point. And just as I say that, my 2 guys go to the top of the board here.
Yeah, they haven't clocked in official times, though. They're still getting out there. Downey's going to be the first guy to clock in an official time, though, 38.568.
There we go.
Not to see how that all goes down later on. This was originally going to be the 3rd race of the season. Obviously, we all know what happened to the real-life, Auto Club race, and because of that, they moved Homestead to the 3rd race of the season in real life. So this was originally going to be Homestead for race number 2, but that's going to be next week for us for the VisitFlorida.com 400. So that moved Auto Club to this slot. And this is a pretty big race. Obviously, like I said, last year was a pretty big deal when Andrew Miller won this event. And it was a great race as well. And I think we're in store for another great show here. And it's only 40 laps long, too, so it's a relatively short race. And, you got to get up to the front pretty quick. Fitzwater picking up right where he left off a week ago after he won that Daytona 500 on Sunday. This is definitely a team to watch out for this season in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Obviously, Grattan Racing showed a lot of speed with Fitzwater. And obviously, when you have a guy like Fitzwater behind the wheel, you know you're going to be going places. And Fitzwater currently 6th fastest as Brett Sierra's got the top position right now. And qualifying for this race means a lot more than it does at Daytona. I don't know if we're going to see a lot of guys from the back of the field move their way through the field in tomorrow's race. You're probably going to be wanting to start in that top 10 if you're going to have a good shot at the race victory. And Brett Sierra, looking for his first career NOFSRL Cup Series race victory, currently holds on to the fastest time here in NAPA 400 qualifying. Your guy, Logan Williams, is 2nd fastest. Logan's going to be in the booth with us later tonight for the Turkey Hill National Series race, and there he is, currently 3rd fastest. It's Cody Sill goes to the top of the board for Buck Racing, and now your guy goes to the top of the board, Logan Williams, fastest here in Auto Club qualifying.
Getting a nice draft off of the 53 of Troxel there in that very, very sexy-looking Tequila Patron car. Nice 4-car train here going down the back straightaway, but also you mentioned that these guys want to start up front. You also would preferably like to start on the inside lane in those odd positions. The reason why is these guys get so fanned out, going 2, 3, and 4 wide possibly on the start, that if you start on the outside lane, you're going to be moving back a lot. So if you want to start up front, you definitely want to pray that you get an odd starting position, as Ben Young in the 5 stuffing it and underneath Eli Bright in the 33. I mean, this is just qualifying, guys. Come on.
Yeah, we don't have any official practice for this series, so this kind of acts as the practice session as well for these guys. Ben Young with the fastest time, and he had it by over 10th and a half on the field there when he got it. Jesse Turner has gone the second there in the number 77 machine, but how about Ben Young? You know, rookie to NAPA fan, first career race essentially was the Daytona 500 on Sunday. Obviously ran in the duel, but you know, he's definitely looking to get something to work here in this first season in this series. And only 11 rookies this year, too, so it's very interesting. A very low rookie class this year, but a strong one at that. We've got guys like Christopher Appleby, Joe Rutkowski, Owen Miles, Logan Williams. You know, Nathan Smith hasn't done too much, but he had a really strong run in the IndyCar series last year. You know, it's a very strong rookie class, and definitely going to be intrigued to see who ends up being the top rookie this year. Try to see where Jesse Turner is. There he is in the 77, and his teammate, Daniel McMillan. And if you actually remember this race last year, McMillan had an opportunity at winning this race, but got caught up in an accident on pit lane, and it took him out of contention. I'm sure that's in the back of McMillan's mind. Obviously, McMillan has not won in a very long time here on NAPA Fan. He definitely wants to turn things around on this Outer Island team, and that's a good starting position if he can, in fact, stay there. But there's still 4 minutes left in this session. There's a good chance someone may even knock off Ben Young for that top position here in NAPA 400 qualifying. But he still holds on to the top position. It's Ben Young, Jesse Turner, Daniel McMillan, Fisher G up to 4th. The 11 machine of Ethan Lewis there in 5th. Owen Miles, Trey Smith, Keegan Thompson, Sam Odoskin, and Logan Williams, the top 10. And you see Fitzwater there in 11th. That's a good starting position for him, looking to go back-to-back to open up the season. No one has ever gone back-to-back to open the season off in the NOFSRL Cup Series before. It's happened in the Turkey Hill Series, but not in the Cup Series. What are the odds you give Fitzwater possibly winning tomorrow night here at the Auto Club Speedway?
Well, given that he is a stone-cold legend in NR 2003 offline and just a plain god, I'd give him fairly good odds. He does have a good starting position. But we are going to have 400 miles, and I forget, it's like...
Shorten to 20% of that length, of course. So it's
an
80-mile race.
Yeah, 80 miles. So, like, yeah, 40 laps around here. We're going to have 40 laps to decide who wins, and we're going to have a pit stop, so that's going to come into play. So I'd give Fitzwater pretty good odds, especially if he starts on that inside lane and starts up at the front. But, hey, anything can happen. Auto Club Speedway, like I said.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out in tomorrow's event. It looks like these times have kind of stalled out a little bit, which is good news for guys like Ben Young, Jesse Turner, and Daniel McMillan starting those top 3 positions. Fisher G, Ethan Lewis as well. And you mentioned there will be a pit stop in tomorrow's race, about a 23 to 25 lap fuel run, so should be interesting to see how the first pit stops of the season in the NOFSRL Cup Series go down. Of course, by the time we get to the race tomorrow night, the Turkey Hill Series would have already done 2 pit stop races at Homestead in their opener, and then, of course, tonight, I should say, for their race, the FGN Guitars 300, which is going to be in less than an hour over on AG Racing, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for the 3rd race of the season in season number 6 of the NOFSRL Turkey Hill National Series. A lot of these guys came through that series. Some of them didn't. Some of them just jumped right into this Cup ride, like the guy who's currently fastest, Ben Young. And a very, very good start to his young career here if he can hold on to this pole position and possibly lead the field to green flag in tomorrow's NAPA 400. But Jesse Turner and Daniel McMillan, a couple of long-time veterans, going to be starting right alongside him if things stay the way they're currently running. Somebody else moved their way inside the top 10. That was Ace Garcia, who we now have a 3-way tie there for 9th. Between Samit Ozkin, Ace Garcia, and Logan Williams. And I'm looking at the points right now, and it is looking like Samit Ozkin will have the advantage on Logan Williams and then Ace Garcia. So Ozkin would start 9th, Williams would start 10th, and Garcia would start 11th. based off the tiebreaker in drivers' points. See where our uncharted guys are. Number 2 machine of John Eaters in 38th. The other uncharted driver who qualified his way into this race was Ashlin Boyd in the number 80 machine. And that number 80 for Trinity River Racing has qualified both races so far this season. And Ashlin Boyd currently 23rd quickest here in NAPA 400 qualifying. No change inside the top 10 for now. And Ben Young still holds on to the fastest time. And what a time he said. He's got about 9/100ths of a second. Yes, 9/100ths of a second there on Jesse Turner. Quite a considerable gap compared to the rest of the field right there in that number 5 machine.
I completely agree with that. I'm curious to see where Andrew Williams is starting in this race. I think he's starting somewhere.
You mean Logan Williams?
Whoever's in the 24.
You mean Andrew Miller?
Oh, Andrew Miller, yeah. Andrew Miller.
Yeah, last year's winner, Andrew Miller, right there. Look, man, I personally know Andrew, so you don't. It's someone I actually know. You, Andrew, and Marty are the only 3 people I've actually met in real life before. And I've met Andrew separately like 4 or 5 times, so don't mess his name up, man. He's actually 40th right now. Not a good starting position for Andrew Miller right now. Obviously, he had a great run in the 500. I believe he finished in the 5th position. Comes into this race 8 points behind Fitzwater. Obviously, we're still very early on in the season. The points at this point don't mean too much, as Brandon Nelson has gone to 3rd late in the session, knocking off McMillan from that 3rd position, and there he is. And this is a guy we were talking about kind of early on coming into this season, looking to have a lot of potential. He hasn't made too many starts on NAPA Fan, but obviously Body Armor Cup Series champion, Match Series in the NOFSRL, coming over here and driving for Grattan Racing. Obviously Grattan Racing won last week with Fitzwater. We'll have to see what this team can do tomorrow night in the NAPA 400. Gonna have a little bit more time left on the clock for these guys to finish their times out, but it does appear that Ben Young's going to win the pole here for the NAPA 400 at the Auto Club Speedway. So how about that for the young rookie driver? Brandon Nelson, another rookie, going to be starting right behind him. But on the outside lane, a couple of veterans there with Jesse Turner and Daniel McMillan. Should be an interesting start to tomorrow's NAPA 400 here at Auto Club.
Oh, it definitely should, as the clock winds down. 5 seconds left, and I don't believe we're going to have any more bonus time. So Ben Young, there it is. Ben Young is going to be your pole sitter here at the Auto Club Speedway for the NAPA 400. And wow.
It was a good session right there. He had a good run.
Oh, yeah,
he clocked that thing in really early, too, and I think he had a massive pull on someone ahead of him, because he's got a massively faster time than everybody else, but we'll have to see if that translates into the race. 40 laps tomorrow around this 2-mile-long oval in Fontana, California, and a set of pit stops as well, so going to be a lot different than what the Daytona 500 was. Hopefully lap traffic does not come into play. It shouldn't. We're not expecting a big wreck in this race. Hopefully that does not happen. But who knows? It's NR 2003. Anything's possible. Ozkin, Ace Garcia, Logan Williams. Ozkin has the tiebreaker on both Williams and Garcia. Williams has the tiebreaker on Garcia. So Williams will start 13th. Ace Garcia will start 14th, I should say. Take a look and see if there are any other ties. We got LJ Semedo and John Anders. Semedo, full-time driver, was in last week's race. He's got more points than John Anders, so they will stay in those respective positions. But other than that, that is how they will line up for tomorrow's NAPA 400 here from the Auto Club Speedway. 9 p.m. Eastern Time on AG Racing here from the Auto Club Speedway. And tonight, Turkey Hill National Series action here on AG Racing with Brendan Wilmington, Logan Williams, and Nathan Smith calling the race. First all-drivers broadcast of the season for the Turkey Hill National Series. Should be a good one with the FGN Guitars 300 here from Auto Club. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Ben Young, your pole sitter for the NAPA 400. We'll see you guys tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time for the NOFSRL Cup Series from Auto Club. I will see you guys later.